Hello everyone, welcome to Thursday for Knowledge. Today I'm continuing on with 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. And the chapter I will be covering is Habit 1. Finally, I am on a habit. Finally. The first of 7. And that habit is called Be Proactive. Upon first glance, it sounds like a buzzword that corporate people like to use. Oh, proactivity, take initiative. And that is what it means in one sense, taking action before something occurs so you can prevent it from happening, basically. But this book is way deeper than corporate buzzwords. It is not slowly, it is has quickly become my favorite book of this type of books, personal development, health, whatever you want to call it, success, mindset. And this chapter was a really powerful one for me. Inside Out was right away, the first chapter was like, oh wow, I get it now. And now this one it resonated with me. Why? Because be proactive. To sum it all up before I even start explaining it, be proactive means you are the creator of your life. What does that mean? It means that there's a lot of things in this chapter, but I'm going to cover the ones that I found the most value from. And the first thing is, when something happens to you, a circumstance or whatever event, that's called a stimulus or a trigger. They use the word stimulus, so I'll keep it consistent with the book. And then you respond to this stimulus. But there's a gap between that stimulus and response. The gap is where you can be proactive in choosing, how do I react to this, or how do I deal with this stimulus? As opposed to, this happened, so automatically cause and effect. Automatically this is what's going to happen now. It goes a lot into subconscious things. Because we think naturally that's how we react because that's how we are. But we have the ability to choose. This chapter is about being the creator of yourself, your identity, your mind, your goals. They use the analogy of a computer program. You're creating the program that is you. Okay, and then it goes on to another section, okay? Where this is where it really was like a big whoa for me. When we try to change other people or other things around us, or let them affect us, there's 2 circles that we have in our lives. So the first one that we cannot control, I don't know why I'm saying it's the first one, but the one that we cannot control, but we are aware of, is our circle of concern. Circle of concern is everyone around you that, especially close to you, like your family, you can't control them. The events that happen around you that you can't control, things of that nature, some things that you cannot control. So then what's the things that you can control? Well, within the circle of concern, which is a larger circle, maybe I'll draw it. I should have drawn it, but it's okay. So there's a circle of concern, and then within the circle is you, and that circle, the smaller circle, is the circle of influence. Those are the things that you have control over. So the point is this. You can't control what's in your circle of concern. You can't change it. Well, you can change it, but that's the point of this chapter. It's not that you will change things around you. Things will change around you when you start focusing on your circle of influence, which is what you can control, which is yourself, your attitudes, your beliefs, your behaviors, your actions, your words, etc. This will resonate with the people around you. Trying to tell someone to do something will just cause tension, and it won't give the desired effect, because maybe they will do the thing eventually that you're asking them to do, but it won't form that habit for that person constantly. It will just be, and there will be a resentment around it. So all you can do is control what you can control in yourself. That is the big thing of that chapter. Now, how do you do that? Well, a big thing about it is your language. Your language. So we tend to blame things and say, I can't do this because. There's an example of a story where a student said to the professor, I can't come to this class because I have to play a tennis match. And the professor, I think it was actually Stephen Covey himself, I don't remember, said, well, it's not that you can't come to this class and that you have to play the tennis match. It's that you want to, right? And you just are saying you have to because you're acknowledging there's a consequence for not coming, which is you won't get the content of the class. Anyway, long story short, that's how we need to apply things in our life. It's not about I have to do this or I have to do this. It's I am going to do this, I am going to this. I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't want to do this because I want to do this, etc., etc., etc. Not I have to. I have to means you have no control. That means you're being forced. At the end of the day, whether we feel obligated to do something or not, or we do things even if we don't want to, we made a choice to do it. So saying I have to is not a proper proactive language. It's a reactive language, meaning someone made you do this. I am means I'm choosing. That's one example. So go through, like, there's a whole bunch of things that you can reframe it, saying like, if only this happened, then whatever. You could say, I am now going to be like this because I'm choosing to be like that. Whatever. Those are some examples. If it's all their fault, it's all my kid's fault, it's all my wife or husband's fault, it's all that person's fault, my friend screwed me over, it's his fault, etc. No. Again, that's reactive. You're blaming everything around you on the circumstances in the circle of concern. Instead, whatever they did, that's them. So how am I going to be a better person? That's the real thing. That's all you can focus on. So as you do that, your circle of influence within the circle of concern, so the circle of influence will start to grow. And this won't be an intentional like thing that, oh, I'm doing this because then I know that person's going to do what I want. It's just, you have to literally almost think like a monk in the sense of, I'm not doing this as an outcome dependent thing. I am just doing this to be the best person I can be. I'm not asking for anything in return. That term, unconditional love, actually has a meaning. If you actually love someone unconditionally, which you should if you're married to them, I hope, means that you love them without expecting anything in return. Only then will love be reciprocated. Okay? But you have to actually do it with no expectation in return. And it's deeper than empty gestures and grandiose, romantic, Hollywood romanticized actions. There needs to be an actual feeling. So that's being proactive. Being proactive means I'm taking control. I'm taking charge of my life. I'm choosing that this is what I want to be and this is what I want to do. I'm going to be how I want to be. That aligns with my goals. And that will tie into the second habit, which we'll talk about when I make a video about the second habit, how this will tie into that. But for now, just be aware, especially in relationships, like in terms of interacting with people, especially people close with you, you can't control anyone around you. If you think you control them, they hate you. Subconsciously, they resent you. And it's something that my personal life have been working on. Just, you gotta let go, and you gotta just do what aligns with your values and your values and your beliefs and your goals. That's your values and beliefs and your goals. That's not someone else's. You can't force them on other people. All you can do is work and strive to your own and acknowledge the other person has their own. What will happen though, if you are an effective person, is, as I said, your circle of influence grows within your circle of concern to the point where people will resonate with you because you have a better energy. They feel good around you. Something about you feels better. They want to be like you almost because of the fact that they see this growth that you're experiencing, and maybe they want that for themselves. But it's all about show, don't tell. You can't be like, do this, 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 and this. I've tried many times with people I know who ask me things about, what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Saying it's not going to... You can say it over and over, but it's just, you just show, don't tell. I don't know. Tell them to read the book. But at the end of the day, it's about being proactive, that you're in control. Proactivity. Reactivity means you would let everything else around you define you. I've said this already, but I just want to re-emphasize the difference. So, now, you have three forms of I guess, influences or in your circles of concern. You have your direct contacts with people. Like, you have direct control, which that's your influence. So you can only control directly you and your actions and your outcomes and your beliefs and all that. I said that already. Now, the indirect control is the outside. That's the circle of concern. You don't touch it. You do what you got to do and continue to grow yourself, and your circle of influence grows. And hopefully the people that align with you will somehow run into you or somehow come in contact with you, and you'll grow as a group. You'll resonate with each other. The things you have no control over, meaning literally no control, like not even family, like things that you see on the street, businesses or whatever, things that you have really literally no control over, government stuff, whatever, etc. That's all you can do is nothing. You just smile. You know? It is what it is. To get angry about a government changing a policy or a bank doing this or this doing that or that country on the other side of the world is doing this, Trump isn't whatever. We all get worked up over another country's future president. Whether it's him or Hillary, who cares? The point is, yes, maybe it will affect us as Canadians. I'm Canadian. And the rest of the world will be affected. But what can we do about it? We have no say. We have no vote, and we have no say. All we can focus on is ourselves as individuals. And that's what being proactive is. We can't blame Trump for the end of the world. As much as he's whatever. I'm not going to talk about my political views. We can't blame this country or that person for anything. Proactive means I am in total control. I don't know why I'm constantly acting like I'm like a yoga instructor or something, or a Buddhist, because I said you gotta be like a monk. Anyway, the point is, that is proactive in a nutshell. You create the program, you create your own life, your own decisions, your own outcomes, your own desires. Just because your family is a certain way doesn't mean you have to be that way. Just because you work at a place where everyone thinks a certain way doesn't mean you have to think that way if you don't like it. Just because the world, everyone around you says you should do this, you should go to university, the common cliche example. And if that's not something that aligns with you, you don't have to go to university. We all live to please everyone else, but we don't live to really do what we want to do. This is not an attack on university or education. I value education. But I'm just saying, as an example, we do things that we don't think about what was going to make me happy. We think, everyone will be so proud of me. We seek validation outside of us. But that's the emptiest form of development, because if that validation's gone, you had no foundation to stand on. You need to start building the foundation, the concrete, to weather the storm. Because dealing with hardships, dealing with rejection and what's the word? Rejection and negativity, and that wasn't the word I was looking for, but people talking to you condescendingly, insults, you got to deal with all that. And if you don't have the foundation built to weather that storm, your house is going to collapse. So focus on the foundation. Be proactive. That's the chapter. That's the message, and that's my insight. Read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Proactive is a huge aspect of personal development. So that's all for Thursday for Knowledge today. Let's keep growing together, and thanks for watching. Take care.